Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the No More Heroes 3 Championship Run. And today is probably going to be, in my opinion, the trickiest out of all the bosses to fight on Dead difficulty, and that is Sonic Juice. Sonic Juice, even though the fight has that turn-based battle, and then they switch over to what they call real-time, let's not make any mistakes here. This is a turn-based battle. The thing about Sonic Juice, which makes him very, very frustrating, is that if you get greedy and you try attacking him during some of his attacks, you may interrupt him, but you're going to find scenarios where interrupting an attack won't necessarily stop the attack. In other words, the attack will keep going. A lot of his attacks aren't actually tied to his body, so interrupting anything that his body is doing isn't going to stop the attack. It'll keep on going regardless of whatever it is that he is doing. This is especially apparent with a legendary water ability where he throws the giant ball in the air and then it lands wherever it is that you were last standing. Normally this is quite easy to dodge, but if you get greedy and doing hits, even during a Great Slash, if he says legendary water, the attack is going to come up and complete itself whether or not Sonic Juice is interrupted. So on death difficulty, if your combos get interrupted by enemy attacks, you die instantly. So Sonic Juice is very, very tricky, but the whole point about this fight really is just patience and making the most of every opportunity that you get, while at the same time not being so greedy for damage that you end up getting stuck. It's very, very tricky and does take quite a bit of practice, but I'm going to try my best to kind of run you through how I tend to do things. Before I do though, I want to quickly just point out that as usual, I'm going to be using the Great Chip EX Death Glove chips. These just give me some more damage. More damage is always a good thing, and since we're playing on Death difficulty, taking extra damage does not matter. Yeah, not really else much that I can say about that. Now, Sonic Juice is such a weird fight, like I said. It's almost like playing a turn-based game, but you'll find that with a lot of bosses in most video games, this tends to be the case, where if you do inadvisable actions during a turn where the enemy has all the advantage, you're asking for trouble, and that's what this fight is. If you do things while Sonic Juice is doing his abilities, it's just not going to work out for you. So a couple of moves of note that I want to point out, like the first phase is very simple. He only has 3 moves, well 4 moves technically. The first is legendary water, of course, but also he has melee attacks that can be perfect dodged. There is the sweep attack and the pound attack. I personally find the sweep attack too difficult to perfect dodge consistently, so I just choose not to do it. But if you guys are good at it, if you're better at me then yeah, go ahead by all means. The pound ability I find a lot easier, but I still wouldn't count on it 100%. I'm very inconsistent, so I don't rely on it. But if you do get a perfect dodge, you will get a free Great Slash, and that is the perfect opportunity for you to immediately begin attacking with your death slow and your death rain. You're going to pile on damage really, really quick, and you might actually score yourself another Great Slash. Well, we'll get into that during the actual fight. And then finally, there's the one where he shoots the crows at you. Just block, or you can even dodge if you see gaps that you can fit through, by all means. The reason why I say don't get greedy as well is that if you're in the middle of an attack animation, these things can catch up to Travis really, really quickly and hit him once for an insta-kill. So yeah, just be careful. Second phase has a few interesting moves. The first one I want to point out is the water wheel. The water wheel, he takes a step back. The moment you see him do that, get out of range, immediately run back to the opposite side of the stage. The reason why you want to do that, you want to give him enough space, because if you find yourself still at the spot where he once was, the water wheel is going to hit that spot first. So take this as an opportunity. This guy is a battery sponge. He just takes up he's like a total bullet sponge, essentially. He just takes forever to kill, and you're going to run out of battery really quickly. And since you can't throw him, you're going to need recharging a lot, and the water wheel is like the perfect opportunity to do so. Once it's finished, you could dash through it if you time it perfectly. You can dodge through it if you time it perfectly, or just wait 4 seconds and do a death kick, and you get the exact same effect, but with some extra damage. You're going to be wanting to use Death Rain a lot for this particular fight, since it's a very consistent damage dealer, and also sometimes it just interrupts him. You might not be able to get a combo off of it if you're too far away, but that's fine, as long as you're preventing him from doing stuff, because he's constantly throwing out attacks, so you want to be conscientious of that. The next one I want to point out, I don't know the name of this attack. I like to call it water mechanics because it's very reminiscent of like the mechanics of an MMORPG where you have to like constantly mind your spacing on the ground. He just shoots like he puts his finger on the stage and it creates a spinning wheel where you just have to mind the space. You have a second to decide whether or not it is going clockwise or counterclockwise. So position yourself perfectly in the middle and just don't get hit. This is the entire game. Don't get hit, but yeah, just be very careful because every once in a while he switches from a clockwise or a counterclockwise direction, and you always want to be on your toes for that one. Third phase, he adds 2 more moves. The first one is quite easy. It's just a giant tsunami. This is very easy. This is like the perfect chance to recharge your battery because he takes forever to get back to the stage. Just run to the side of the stage that does not have the tsunami coming towards it, and you are good to go. The other attack I want to point out is one of my favorite moves. It's based, well, it's very similar. It's not based on it necessarily, but it's very similar to the Shockwave ability from Smoking King from Travis Strikes Again. Basically, he will create an eruption 3 times with the expanding radius, but the way that it works is that the first, like, if they hit the eruption on one section, then it won't be affected by it ever again for the duration of this attack. So basically, the moment the center explodes, just dodge into the center of the stage and let the other 2 run their course throughout the death rain if you have to get that extra damage. The thing is, the initial explosion or the initial eruption is the only thing that does damage. After that, it's completely harmless, so feel free to dodge in early if you're feeling a little bit jumpy, or take your time, up to you. But for the most part, though, it's a very easy attack to dodge. Yeah, Sonic Juice, really, really fun boss, very tricky boss. I will say he is arguably the most difficult one, simply because you can't rush him down like you can for all the other bosses in this game on death difficulty. You actually do have to master and memorize everything that you need to do to react to all of his attacks, but hey, that's what makes it a turn-based RPG. Let's get started. This philosophy that I have of saying that everything's a turn-based RPG, that thing goes back as far as Monster Hunter, I think, where sometimes if you dodge a monster's attack, the advisable thing to do is to go for a healing item and not necessarily an attack, because you can't do both, and you gotta decide right then and there. Okay, here we go. The moment the fight begins, he's probably gonna do some melee attacks. That one I'm very inconsistent at. But that is like my go-to. Only hit him 3 times, I would say. 3 or 4 times. If you go for more, those crows will catch up to you. Okay, here we go. So, once you get a Great Slash, start going for a slow, and you're going to increase the duration of the hit stun that he takes. Okay, let's not get greedy here. He is quite close to getting another Great Slash because I hit him so many times with the blast attack. There we go. Here we are. Got a Death Rain. This damage is going to stack up quite a bit. Alright. Once you see him stop being affected by your hit stun, immediately stop attacking. This sweep attack, I don't know, sometimes I can get it every day. I can get it every time for a perfect dodge. Other times, I just die instantly, and I'd rather not risk it. Whenever he throws a legendary water, just give grounds. Okay, here we go. Give ourselves a slow again, increase the duration of the hit stun. We are now in phase 2. We want to make sure we can get as much damage in as we can. The moment I see that slow disappear, I'm going to have to let up on the attacks. Okay, here's the water mechanics, as I like to call it. I'm pretty sure it has a much more eloquent name. Or a crazy name, who knows. Okay, perfect opportunity, wait like 4 seconds, and kick. Don't go for a blast attack if you get a stun off of that, because there's a good chance he'll just throw a legendary water. Oh boy, where are you going? It's tricky, but like this is one of those things where you just gotta be patient. Ooh, I feel I was close. If I wasn't careful, that actually could have hit right before I had the chance to block. Oh, here comes the legendary water. This is what I'm talking about. Ooh, okay, I was actually a hair early. Okay, but if I was a little bit late, though, the legendary water would have fell. Either way, it's not worth risking. Okay. Don't even, like, I know it's tempting, but don't try to go for hits during that attack. It doesn't work consistently, and if you get a combo, it doesn't matter because the water wheel is still going, or the water mechanics are still going. Run back. Run in. Do a pound if you can. Yes, here we go. This is going to hurt. I know I got Mustang mode. Immediately slow. This is going to do a lot of damage to take us straight to phase 3. Alright, Tidal Wave. Takes forever, so you got plenty of time to fully charge yourself. You're into Smoking King. This would be a perfect chance to go for a Death Rain if I had it. Here we go. The optimal range, I think, is just like right in front of him and a few steps back. Otherwise, though, like if you can block it, don't even bother trying to go fancy for the dodges if you can help it. Oh no, I messed it up. I shouldn't have done that slow. Oh well. This will at least give us time to recharge the Death Rain. Oh! Oh! I almost dodged into it! Simple combo, don't go for anything more than that. If anything, the Death Rain should be enough to cover the difference between the damage lost. Alright, here we go. Here comes the Death Rain. Something good, please. Something good. Ooh, this is an opportunity. We might actually be able to close it out now. If I can slow. Yes, this is going to be it. That's it. Woo. Okay, yeah, we're going to do it again to prove that it wasn't just a fluke, but also just like, yeah, just for more examples to give better ideas of how like, I react to attacks. Because I made the mistake of trying to dodge to the side when I should have just dodged backwards before he does the water wheel. It takes like 5 minutes per run. This is like one of the most tense fights. Much more tense than Fu. I mentioned with the Fu battle that particular one is you kind of get a little bit nervous towards the end because you're so far in, but this fight takes even longer. Especially because like I realized that at the time of recording, this is after I uploaded the Fu video, and I actually discovered a little bit later that there are more ways to interrupt his skills with your Death Glove abilities, and with Sonic Juice, you don't have that. Like, every advantage that Travis has isn't quite there with this particular one. So here we go, try it again. I have a tendency to get hit by that right off the bat. Oh man. But yeah, there's no, as far as I'm aware, there's no like stun lock combo or anything. Unless you have, like, the 0 cooldown chip, the Z chip, which reduces all cooldowns to 0. Yeah, there's no, like, secret, like, cheese method that I'm aware of, but if anyone knows it, feel free to let me know, because I would love to use it. Ooh, man, okay, yeah, that was, I shouldn't have done that. Because if I was unlucky and he just aims right where I was dodging, I wouldn't have worked. Here we go. Throw down both of the skills. This is going to do a lot more damage than if you waited. Oh man, I wasn't sure I was going to make it in time. Here we go. the amount of damage that you can potentially do during a slow and death rain is a lot more in comparison to just letting the Mustang mode run its course. But of course, that's not an option for us now. We'll let it slide. Here we go. The thing is, too, I noticed, it's kind of uncanny, I don't have any luck at all when it comes to the slots. Like, every once in a while I might get, like, a Mustang mode every couple of battles, but nothing crazy. Let's see if I can prolong the stun, hit stun. Don't want to mess up my inputs. Okay. The moment he does this, immediately go for a top-down perspective. Legendary Water is another just great opportunity to get your energy back. So many near misses for this run. I gotta keep it together. 2, 3, 4. It's important not to get too excited either, because if you're getting excited, you're going to accidentally push out a blast attack, and that's going to leave you super open. Legendary Water again. We're so close to closing out this second phase. 3, 4. Here we go. Go for the slow. The moment you get that Great Slash, immediately go for the slow. Alright, and those extra hits from the Death Rain are really going to come in handy. Alright, that's enough. Gotta hang back. Make sure you have enough energy for the dodge. Like, if you have, like, the infinite battery, that would be super helpful, but you probably wouldn't have it at this point. Here comes Smoking King. I don't want to get greedy like last time. See? Like, he was waiting for it, too. If I made the exact same mistake, I wouldn't be so lucky. Yeah, oh, yes. But I don't got the slow. Yet. Okay. Gotta be careful. Gotta be very careful how I do this. If he does the pound attack, I can close it out now. But he won't. Why would he? Like most turn-based RPGs, there's a lot of RNG involved for the moves that he chooses. Yes! Death Rain, right off cooldown. Yes! Closing it out now. Get that slow. I guess that would be a good strategy, actually. Right after he does the Tsunami, just dodge in, buffer the blast attack, and then let loose, and that should actually get you a free stun. I think the fastest run I ever did was like 3.5 minutes. Like, this fight takes a lot of time, even with lucky RNG. But, yeah, not bad. 5 minutes and 4 minutes. Could have been worse. Both SS ranks, as I recall. But no grape juice. You know what? I can live with that. But yeah, Sonic Juice. A very, very intensive fight. I would go as far as say that he is the most difficult fight. Not difficult, well, I don't know, like, everyone takes difficulty differently, everyone has, like, different perspectives on the matter, but I think for me, the thing about Sonic Juice, again, is that there is no, like, big cheese method compared to, like, you know, like Destroy Man or Damon or even Fu to an extent. Well, like, for Fu, you just lock them down. But with Sonic Juice, there's just so many fun things to keep track of, and making, like, optimizing each of the punishes that you do for all the attacks that he does, making sure that you have the correct and most optimal responses to the attacks that he does. It makes for a really exciting, almost like real-time RPG, as it were. But yeah, guys, we have pretty much finished, I think, in my opinion, the most tricky boss in the entire roster. Everything after this is just going to be smooth sailing, and that's going to be closing out our little series as we get there. So, guys, thank you very, very much for watching the Sonic Juice. This is also going to be the biggest requirement for getting the Z chip. The Z chip is the one that lowers the cooldowns of all your Death Glove skills to 0, and you only need a handful of them. I think the only materials you don't need are the ones from Kimmy and Damon. Kimmy, Damon, and Velvet Chair Girl. Obviously, the Gold Joe and Mr. Blackhole, we're going to get into that too. But, like, they're kind of a non-boss, but we'll get there when we get there. But those are the only two ones that require, or that have materials required for the Z chip. So I guess we're going to do those next. And then, after that, it might play around with the Z chip for your watching pleasure. But, yeah, when we get there, we'll get there. Guys, thank you very, very much for watching today's video. It was a blast. This was all one recording. I want to say I was worried about this. I was scared that this was going to be like a disaster where I'm constantly re-recording because I keep dying to Sonic Juice. But I've been practicing, and I hope it shows to you guys. This feels really, really nice as well. Anyways, take care, everyone. Hope you enjoyed this as much as I did.